guys, hope you're well. My name is Elsie and today I'm going to be speaking to you about my role as a creative / community project manager.
And we're your backyard friends, the backyard again.
A lot of people don't know that this role exists. When we think of like project management, a lot of us, think about maybe the tech industry, the finance industry, construction. So here is a quick whistle guide stop tour on my journey, which actually started in secondary school. As part of my work experience, I was sent over to a project management company who were managing stuff around like construction, engineering, stuff like that. And I learned a lot of skills working with that company. For example, I learned how to create a pitch overview, a deck overview. After having gained those kind of like really introductory skills, bit by bit, I started to help out friends with events. I was always known as the person, that would like be able to connect people. I had a lot of friends in the creative industry because I had started dancing by around 14 years old. And so I had already begun to like make a lot of connections, make a few friends here and there. And one of my first experiences was I was helping out one of my friends who was doing a drama / comedy live scratch event type event. And essentially I was helping to plug in with like people that were comedians, that were artists, that were in drama, etc. And from there he kind of brought me on as a project manager, and that was when I was around, not a project manager, more so as a producer, and that was when I was about 16 years old. And again, I was doing it very informally, just helping out my friend. And I remember I followed them to a meeting to go and check out a venue to do this project at, and when I was there I came across my older sister's best friend called Stella Fuja. She was in the meeting with me, and as obviously I was the producer at that time, I was asking lots of questions, getting involved. And from there she was like, oh right, Elsie, like you were really good in that meeting, like you asked a lot of good questions. Like, are you looking for any work? And I was like, yeah, like I'd love to do some work experience, because at that time I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to uni. And so I was working with her PR agency for I guess over the next 4 years. Aside from doing things like, social media management, etc, I did also a lot of like events programming and the marketing side of things. And that's kind of again where I kind of got more so into doing events. And then again, as I was doing more things, getting more involved in the industry, my network just continued to grow, and that kind of like process kind of just kept on happening. Like I'd help out a friend with an event or with something that they were working on, and then I'd kind of like just build my network that way. And so by the time I was 21, again another opportunity came up. One of my friends asked me to help them manage or help them produce a Black History Month event. I was all in, like I was all in. I gave all my contacts, all my ideas, etc. So I set up my own community interest company called Our Peoples, and essentially what we did was, we wanted to program community centered events in local spaces. And the aim of that CIC was to help again like bridge the gap between creative cultural activities and events with the local people in the community who may not have access to those events or those experiences due to either cultural or accessibility barriers. So that was my goal with that event, or with the company that I set up. And with that event, I programmed it really well. I had like dance elements, history talks, massage, free books to give away, like food, music, all sorts of stuff. But my only thing that I didn't have was 1, a team, and 2, my marketing. I didn't market the event properly at all. And so whilst I had all the elements there, not a lot of people came. And after that I was like completely burnt out. I was like, no, I hate events. I'm never doing events again. And so that's kind of how I got more so into, rather than doing like the big events, I kind of got more so into doing, things like workshops, book clubs, etc, because that felt more safe to me. It felt more manageable, more intimate, more one-to-one. And so this is whilst I was still working in PR, and there I was beginning to like program workshops. And because I had a lot of friends in the creative industry, I would then program my friends into the creative spaces. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed creating experiences centered around creativity and culture. And from that, I started to see that a community was being built. I was doing that with Art Collective that I joined. Again, this is all through networking, through helping out, through being available. I joined the Art Collective, and yeah, we were programming art workshops once a month. After that, I then went into my nursing. So I was doing like my PR stuff alongside my nursing degree. When I was in my final year of uni, I started to then volunteer with a gallery space in Peckham. I was working in that space, helping to like program again events and workshops. And I remember one time, I think it was in the summer around June or July, the girl group Oshun from America were coming over to perform at Ghost Notes. Ghost Notes was a venue next to our gallery, 10.5 gallery in Peckham Levels. And I remember, you know, thinking to myself, oh my God, they're going to be here. Like, I love them. They're so awesome. And I had a lot of friends again at that time. I was so interested in like the divine feminine, spirituality. So I remember essentially putting together a pitch deck. You know, what I had learned from my project management work experience in year 10. I put together a pitch deck saying like what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was I wanted to do an exhibition based around their brand and also give them an opportunity to like sell their merch within my exhibition. And then I also wanted to program some other people, some other store holders and like sellers, again, who were creating content, creating products centered around like divine femininity and spirituality. I found their manager's email online and I sent it over to them. And I was so shocked and surprised when I got a response back. But I did. It was really amazing. At that time, Guap and Galdem still had their offices downstairs in Peckham Levels. And so essentially I went to them with the same pitch deck saying, hey guys, this is my idea. I'd love for you to get involved as media partners. And again, they all agreed. And I was, again, like shocked, like, wow. And that's exactly what I did.
You know, this is my first time here as well, so I was really faking it. I was like...
Our ancestors prayed for this moment. There, so there's an active reclamation of like Black spirituality, African spirituality.
It was amazing, honestly. I think that was essentially the starting point of my relationship with Guap. And as you can see, that was in 2018, 4 or 5 years later. I'm now full-time working with Guap. When I was finished with the gallery, I'd go downstairs to go and see them, go and say hi, chill in the office, you know, be involved in some of their content pieces, etc., etc. And then when they finally then moved to their second office in Peckham, I would then use their offices for like book clubs, workshops. And again, like for those book clubs, I found a book that I really liked and I wanted to share it with my friends. And so I created a book club. And there were like maybe like 2 or 3 people that came to the book club. Not a lot of people whatsoever. However, what did happen is that the boys were seeing me a lot. I was bringing value to their space. They were saying that I was consistent, etc., etc. And again, that relationship continued to build. So by 2021, around 3 years later, me and the boys were really close. We'd already gone on our second holiday together. And I remember being on the plane and saying to Jide, like, even though I'm doing my nursing, so at this point I'd finished my nursing degree and I was actually working full-time as a nurse. I remember saying to them, like, yeah, even though I'm doing my nursing and even though I'm doing these like workshops and events on the side, I still want to do more for my community. And Jide said to me, like, rah, like, well then come and work for Guap like 1 day a week. So I did that. I would go to my nursing job 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and I'd come to Guap 1 day a week, and then again like do stuff like workshops, competitions, etc., etc. And you know, I had a great time. I had a lot of imposter syndrome because I was like, what? Like I'd never heard of the title community manager. I'd never heard of that title. I'd never been in that position officially. And even though I was doing it for myself, I had a lot of imposter syndrome because I was like, you know, can I even do this? Like, what makes me qualified to do this? But I took the leap. I took the leap of faith. I didn't even tell anyone about it for the first few months because I was so scared that, oh no, like I want to make sure I'm doing a good job before I tell people that I'm doing the job. And so yeah, I had my first year. It was great. We did a lot of amazing things. And then by the following year, by my second year in February, the guys offered me a full-time job. And essentially, you know, this last year has been amazing. You know, I started managing the Originals Creator Network, which is a 12-month creative development program for 20 emerging creatives. Another big project that I managed was the V&A Guap Takeover. It was a massive event, over 5,000 people attended. Again, that was a massive project that I think I had only dreamed of doing years and years before. Like from that first event that I had in the community centre where, you know, I'd programmed so many things but no one came. You know, I remember being so burnt out from that event, but I still had that desire that, wow, I know that with the right platform, I can program something amazing. I can program something that's so rich and beneficial. And so 7 or 8 years later, being able to do that for the V&A, you know, one of the world's largest art and cultural museums in the world, you know, like, and packing it out. My younger self can't even imagine, wouldn't even think of the V&A, of doing something like that in the V&A, but I did, you know, we did it. And I'm so grateful for that experience. Another project was the Guap Gala. Yeah, there's been so many amazing things, and I think there's going to be so many amazing things that will come. A few things that I will point out that, you know, are key and essential to my process. The first thing I always say, if you're just starting out, if you're young, 21, like I was, this is the time to try things out. I'm 27, I'm still trying, like this YouTube, I'm trying it out, you know, like try things out. This is your time to do it, because if the idea doesn't come to pass, at least you've built a network, at least you've spoken to people and said, hey guys, this is my idea. At least you've, you know, made the step of believing in your ideas, because that's the only thing, that's the most important thing that will, you know, take you from where you dream of being to where you can actually be. You know, everything starts in the mind, and being able to develop and cultivate your ability to take what's in your mind and bring it into reality, you know, that's magic. That's a God-given talent. And the more you cultivate and develop that belief, that ability, you know, I believe the more you are working within your purpose, within God's purpose. Second thing I'd say is initiative and work ethic. You have to work hard. A third thing I'll say is always keep learning. Before I took on the full-time role at Guap, I did a pilot with a few young people, you know, looking at, okay, this is how a development program could run. This is what lessons I need to learn ahead of time. This is what skills I should be developing. I got myself a mentor before starting that project. And I also enrolled in a lot of project management courses online. So again, don't be content with not knowing what you don't know. There's a lot of things that you don't know and you only find out those things by seeking the knowledge, by seeking the insight, by seeking mentors. And so whenever there is a project coming up, you know, don't be like, well, I don't know how to do it, and leave it at that. No, find a way to learn how to do it, find a way to understand how to do it. So yeah, so these would be my 3 tips that I leave you with today. It is possible to go from being a friendly babe to being a project manager babe. And it is possible to do that within an industry and within a field that you love. So this is my is it short? I don't know if it's short anymore because I've been talking for ages, but this is my kind of like my introduction into creative/community project management. And I hope that my journey has been helpful for you. Feel free to drop a comment in the comment box if there's anything that you want me to talk about. I'm a very, very, very open book. I love teaching, I love sharing. And I think, you know, yeah, it's something that I'm passionate about. And so if there's anything that you want to know about, like how did this project happen, what are the intricacies of that project, how to, you know, program an exhibition, etc., just let me know in the comments. And if I don't know or have those answers, I will find someone that does have those answers and present that piece of content for you. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hope this was useful, and hopefully see you soon.